Hello, welcome back to Amory Junction. Today is only going to be a really short video, well I hope it will anyway. I'm going to be telling you what I think makes a good model shop. As you would have seen maybe through YouTube, I put out a poll asking out of 2 videos what would you prefer to see. This one won by far, so thank you for everyone that voted. I'm going to be doing that a little bit more often to see what videos people want to see more of, and some out of 2 ideas. I might well do the other one. It's just out of order what one you want to see first. So anyways, we're going to get straight into today's video, and I'll get on with my opinions on what makes a good model shop. A good model shop really depends on what stuff you like, what gauge, as if you're O gauge it's slightly less available than say double O, and a lot of the local shops don't sell it because obviously it's very expensive and it's a very niche market compared to double O and N. But I'm talking on terms of double O, so for all the people that model stuff like me, in kind of the medium scale out of the main 3 of double O, N and O gauge. So in terms of that then, I would say I like a model shop that's very full, that has a lot of stuff in, that has kind of the exhibition box of all little bits and pieces. Great Eastern Models is definitely one that fulfills that greatly, as they always have little boxes of bargains, of little packets in, of all like opened, unboxed stuff for cheaper prices. And normally and always, especially with them, it is really good stuff. It just don't have a box, and that just reduces the price for a lot of the stuff, because it doesn't make it new anymore. So yeah, I really like that about there. Great Eastern Models definitely is one of my favourites. I do have to say that, as they do have that. On to our second thing then, I would say having a shop with lots of stuff in obviously would be my number 1, as I just said. But I do like a shop where the people are friendly, they give out advice, they will help you, and they won't charge you for helping you. As some places, really it'd be in their interest to charge you, considering it's their business and they're giving out their knowledge for free in their place of business and work. But it is really nice that there are people that own these model shops who are passionate about the hobby, that do have a ongoing interest for railways and all the stuff that we model, and they really do know a lot and are happy to pass that on. Many times I've gone in John Dutfield's especially, as I go in there probably the most, as it's nearest to where I live. The amount of times I've been buying stuff and overheard conversations, asking about how to start out, customers asking the staff in there, and they've been always really good. They've given their best answers, and as they always say in there, information is free, the products aren't. So yeah, John Dutfield's is a good one. They can advise you on certain stuff, and that's the same with probably a lot of other model shops as well. Flair Rail's another one. There's absolutely loads. Sat Model Rail in Battlesbridge, that's a good one. He knows a lot about DCC sound fitting, and he does all the Backman chips there. So I've got some bits off of him. I go to a load, so I can't obviously name them all, but a lot of them are very helpful. And you do find with model shops, obviously online you won't be able to get this. You get the face-to-face element, and you get to take in all their advice, and if you've got any questions, they'll always do your best to get them answered for you. Right, probably on to my third thing of what I do like about model shops. I do like how I like ones that do all the products and have it laid out nice and easy for you to see, because you go in some shops and it's all crammed in, which is good because they've got a lot of stuff, but sometimes you just can't see all the stuff, and all of the shops I go to, it's all laid out so you can see it in a way where everything's there. It's all on big shelves. John Dutfield, that's absolutely amazing. It's like floor to ceiling, all the way around their whole shop full of model railway stuff. And it's very easily organised, so you can see. So I probably would say organisation in the shops would be a very important point for me, as when you go in, it's not like normal shops where you want to go in and go out really quick. I always get caught in there for quite a while. I always end up chatting to people, and yeah, I just get carried away, and my pile of stuff that I buy just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I need to like know when to stop. But normally I can't, but I need to improve on that. But basically the organisation, like when I go in, I kind of have a rough idea what I want to buy ish. I need to be honest here. Normally I don't. I just go in and spend way more than I wanted to. But I like the organisation, having it all out on shelves, nice and easy to see, and a good display range full of all different products. That's really stuff that I'd highly put on my top 3 so far. Right, I'm going to say some others, and I believe that shall be it. Right, obviously a very important point is, which I kind of have touched on with the bargains element on what I said earlier. I like shops that are cheap, that do stuff for the good prices. If you do go to some shops, I've gone to absolutely loads across the country and in other countries as well, in France. And some, they just oversell stuff so much. Like even online you can see, you could go to say John Dupfield's, and then somewhere else will have it the same Bachmann engine shed but for £100 more. So I like the shops that sell competitively, that have the bargains. Hatton's obviously have bargains, but obviously I'm kind of mainly aiming at local shops where you go into, because Hatton's is a whole different kind of kettle of fish really, as obviously they've got the huge buying power compared to where the little shops can't, so they can sell stuff a little bit more cheaply than say your local model shop. But with the local model shops, there are some that do sell it really well. Sometimes you get it cheaper than Hatton's, and I always compare. If it's cheaper than Hatton's, it's probably quite a good deal considering if it's brand new. And that's excluding shows, and that's literally just on the retail shop market front. So yeah, I like shops that do have the bargains and have some really good, well-priced stuff, as that's important. There's a lot of good ones in Norfolk that all have really good prices, where you can pick up some good deals, and it's cheaper than a lot of other places that I find. So yeah, I do hunt my model shops down and have a look at the prices, and I always go in model shops beforehand. So before I go, I do a bit of market research on Hatton's, and I know prices from local and model shops. So I've got kind of a knowledge of what price, say, a BRS truck by Oxford Diecast should be, so just one of them. They should be about £9.95 roughly. And then obviously your standard Oxford Diecast vehicle should be around £4.95 to around £5.95. It's normally £4.95, but some of the newer ones come out a little bit more expensive. And then say, what can I use? Right, say vans, they're a little bit more expensive. They're around £6 normally. So yeah, I always like going in with a rough idea of prices, so then I kind of know if I'm getting ripped off, or if these prices at this shop are good, or it's better holding off. And right, obviously a very important point is, which I kind of have touched on with the bargains element on what I said earlier. I like shops that are cheap, that do stuff for the good prices. If you do go to some shops, I've gone to absolutely loads across the country and in other countries as well, in France. And some, they just oversell stuff so much. Like even online you can see, you could go to say John Dupfield's, and then somewhere else will have it the same Bachmann engine shed but for £100 more. So I like the shops that sell competitively, that have the bargains. Hatton's obviously have bargains, but obviously I'm kind of mainly aiming at local shops where you go into, because Hatton's is a whole different kind of kettle of fish really, as obviously they've got the huge buying power compared to where the little shops can't, so they can sell stuff a little bit more cheaply than say your local model shop. But with the local model shops, there are some that do sell it really well. Sometimes you get it cheaper than Hatton's, and I always compare. If it's cheaper than Hatton's, it's probably quite a good deal considering if it's brand new. And that's excluding shows, and that's literally just on the retail shop market front. So yeah, I like shops that do have the bargains and have some really good, well-priced stuff, as that's important. There's a lot of good ones in Norfolk that all have really good prices, where you can pick up some good deals, and it's cheaper than a lot of other places that I find. So yeah, I do hunt my model shops down and have a look at the prices, and I always go in model shops beforehand. So before I go, I do a bit of market research on Hattons, and I know prices from local and model shops. So I've got kind of a knowledge of what price, say, a BRS truck by Oxford Diecast should be, so just one of them. They should be about £9.95 roughly. And then obviously your standard Oxford Diecast vehicle should be around £4.95 to around £5.95. It's normally £4.95, but some of the newer ones come out a little bit more expensive. And then say, what can I use? Right, say vans, they're a little bit more expensive. They're around £6 normally. So yeah, I always like going in with a rough idea of prices, so then I kind of know if I'm getting ripped off, or if these prices at this shop are good, or it's better holding off and going elsewhere. Right, a classic mistake I made recently was on Hattons. I was ordering for a layout I'm building that will be up for sale, so look out for that on Facebook and YouTube. I'll put a community post notification out on YouTube right here, and on Facebook I'll list it on there. It's going to be listed on eBay, and it's going to be in a few local model shops. So if you are in East Anglia, you might see a poster advertising it. It's a little postal layout that's going to be for sale. I'll let you more information when it's done. It's nearly done. It's probably another couple of weeks and you should see it out. And if you're looking for a small little layout that you could exhibit, it's got all the stuff in. It's got layout lighting already in it, and it's got a nice base level of everything, which you can add to, but it's enough just as it is as well. But anyway, whilst buying for that, I got these. Obviously it's a postal layout. I wanted some freight, which, you know, by Woodland Scenics looks very nice. Online I saw that it was very late at night. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning after I finished work, so I saw this and then I was like, oh, I'll get some of these. I've got some of them before, which I believe are up here, but don't ask me where, because they could be anywhere up here. But I was like, yeah, I'll buy them with loads of other stuff. Got a little list, and then got the box arrived from Hattons. That's not a box, that's not the box, that's from London New Street. They're all mainly empty boxes, in case you're wondering. I just need to store them all. So yeah, basically that's what I got, and I found out that they were actually O gauge and not double O, which I was a bit disappointed about. And that's what you don't get through buying online. Sometimes you don't know what you buy, and you end up with the wrong scale. So that's another good thing. While going to an actual physical shop, you can see what you're buying. I am selling them. They're on eBay for £15. If anyone does O gauge and wants them, please comment down below. They haven't been sold as of yet, from this time I filmed this, which will be this week. You'll see it. So if you're interested and you do O gauge, a little plug, they're £15. That's how much I bought them for from Hattons, and I can post them out to you. And yeah, as I don't want them, I don't do O gauge, I do double O, so no good to me. So that's a good thing. Another little thing that I like about model shop, going to see stuff. Right, so also people that are impatient like me, I used to be really bad buying online. I couldn't do it. I don't like waiting. Like, if my money goes out of my account and I've bought something, say, I want to see it come straight away. I want to grab it as soon as I paid for it. I want to take it home and put it on the layout. But whereas online you can't do that, you have to wait for postage. I end up normally paying like next day postage at some expensive price. I've got better now. I've learnt to wait a little bit and got a little bit less impatient. But the thing is, to start off with, like, I couldn't do it, and that's what is really nice about going to see stuff like there and then in the actual shop, because then you see it, you know what you're buying, and you can see it and take it away with you there and then. So that's another thing I do like. I do like seeing stuff in model shops and buying things face to face. Saying that, I do want to point out I do still buy a lot of stuff off Hattons and online, but that's just a generalised thing. I do like to see things face to face, like in the flesh. So if I wanted to buy this train, I would want to see it, to see, say, if it was pre-owned, to see if all the detailing was still there, if it was broken, if there's any scratches. Whereas online, you can't so much see all that. Obviously buying cars, that's a real big example. You can see a picture like that, and literally when you actually go and see it, it's got scratches all over the place, and you're like, So yeah, that's a real big point. I do like seeing stuff face to face. So my next one that I do like about a model shop, I like a model shop to be good and accessible, really. So good parking or near railway station, bus stop. As some before I drove, obviously I drive now. I know I don't look old enough, but trust me, I am. Before I drive, like, I got the train and bus places, and literally it was a nightmare getting to some places, and model shops, as they weren't very accessible. Whereas now it's different. I've got a car, but a long way to model shops did become a bit of a nightmare. Because let's be real, you do go to model shops quite a lot, as obviously if you're doing something on your layout, for example, like over here, and you don't have something, I, for myself, like, can't really wait. This just shows really how impatient I am, but I can't really wait. I want to get it finished, so I make a trip to the model shop, get what I need, end up buying loads of other stuff as well, but get what I need like there and then. So yeah, that's another reason why I like them to be accessible, is you do end up going there quite a lot. Right, okay, so my final thing is I do like having a shop which is very well filled and stocked, and one where they can order you stuff in. Sometimes obviously due to space they can't have everything, but I do like ones where they always can say they can order it in, or they do have a generalised stock of everything. So they've got the scenery stuff, they've got the people, the accessories, the cars, the buses, static grasses, the trains, the locos, bridges, literally all the modelling stuff you'd need to do a layout. And in doing a layout, I like a shop where they have all of that there in one place. Okay, so this hasn't actually ended up being too much of a short video. I did think it probably wouldn't end up being too short in the end, as what videos do I do that are particularly short? Saying that, there are longer ones on YouTube that aren't done by me. But anyway, swerving back to the point, I think that will make everything for today's video finish here. I think I've said everything I wanted to. So they're basically my main kind of points and stuff that I like in a model shop. That makes a great end to today's video. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next video.